Hi everyone and welcome back to a new video on my channel, or if you're new here, welcome. I hope you stay for a while. In today's video I was thinking to do my April TBR. Oh my god, that's crazy. I just finished filming like the intro and outro for my book journal setup video, so if I look the same, that is why, but I thought I would just take this opportunity and film this video as well. I am probably losing daylight pretty soon, so I will try to kind of speed through this as fast as I can. But as you know, at this point we are using my little TBR bunny jar to pick out my books that I hope to read in the month of April. I have 1 week left, about 1 week left I think, of the month of March, and I'm doing really good on my TBR, so that makes me even more motivated to pick out my next TBR and hopefully do as well on that one now that I'm finally out of my reading slump. But yeah, I think I will pick 6 prompts, maybe 7 if I manage to get my book club read in there as well. But we will see how we're feeling as the time goes by. Unfortunately, I do not have a TBR card as many others have. I just have my read and unread books on my bookshelves. But I do have over 100 books on my physical TBR, so I have no trouble finding books that I still need to read. But let's pick out the first prompt for the month of April. Gifted. Okay, so a book that was gifted to me. Okay, I do have a few ideas for that. I will just go get them and walk through them. Okay, so I did manage to find a few options for this prompt. So first of all, I have a Dutch book, which is called Piepsij de Muis by M.J. Arledge. I mean, I'm guessing this is a translated one, but I don't know what the original is called. Yeah, so it does say that it's translated, but as I mentioned, I have no idea what the original is called. This is the second book in a series with, it's kind of like a murder mystery, I would say, or like a crime novel. So I read the first one at my cousin's house when I visited the Netherlands last, and then when my dad went there, she had bought me the second book in the series, which is super cute. And that is this one, so I am eager to get to this. I can't remember a lot from the first one, but I'm pretty sure we're just following like the same detective but a new case. So this one is an option. Then we have 2 that I got most recently, I would say, from a friend for my birthday. And the first one being Lucy Foley's The Midnight Feast, which is a thriller. I'm not sure what this one is about. I haven't actually read any of her books yet. I do have 2 more books of hers on my physical TBR, I believe. But yeah, I'm super excited to get to this one, especially since it was a gift. I feel like usually when I get books gifted to me, I try to read them sooner rather than later, just to not kind of drag out and to let them know my review and my thoughts. And then by the same friend, I got Kristen Hanna's Wild. So yeah, a Kristen Hanna book. Also not sure what this one is about, but she usually writes like historical fiction, a lot of like family relations and things like that. So I am also excited to get to this one. However, I feel like I want The Woman by Kristen Hanna to be my next Kristen Hanna read, so I think I will wait with this one. And then lastly, I have This Savage Song by V.E. Schwab. So this one is a special edition that I got from my brother's girlfriend, who's also in my book club. And V.E. Schwab is one of my favorite authors. I do yet have to finish the like Fishes series by her. So that is kind of what's been putting me off of picking this one up, just to not start another series by her, but at the same time, I can't wait to read this. You know what, I think I'm gonna pick this because I have had this one on my physical TBR for the longest out of these books, and I am very excited to read another one of V.E. Schwab's books. So yeah, this is the first book in a duology. It's the like monsters and something duology. I'm not sure what it's called, but yeah, This Savage Song by V.E. Schwab will be the first book on my April TBR. That is very exciting. Let's pick out prompt number 2. This says series or movie adaptation. Okay. I always find this one kind of hard, but because I don't really know Well, I do have one that comes to mind actually. Okay, so I went through my bookshelf, and the only one that I could find was the one that I instantly thought of, and that is Lessons in Chemistry by Bonnie Garmus. I probably have more books that have been adapted into movies, but I'm not sure which ones, if I'm being completely honest. So I guess this one is our best bet. So this one is a historical fiction about, let's see, a chemist in the 1960s, and she works in an all-male team at a research institute, and for some reason she is forced to resign, and then, I don't know, I feel like this is kind of like a woman's fiction kind of book, I don't know. I haven't read it, obviously. I also have not watched the adaptation, but I have been excited to read this one for a while, so this one will be the second book on my April TBR. On to book number 3. Let's do this prompt. I'm not sure if that's 1 or 2, but we will find out. Okay, it's only 1. Book with a map. Okay, so I feel like that would be any fantasy book, probably. I'm currently reading A Curse for True Love by Stephanie Garber, otherwise I would have definitely picked that one. But I think I will be responsible and pick a book that finishes off a series rather than starting a new one. So I do have a few in mind. Let me go get them. Right, so I have 3 books that I'm in between, and they're all continuing or finishing series. The first one is A Taste of Poison by Tsonya Odette, which is the 4th? I believe it's the 4th book in the Entangled with Fae series by her. So this is a series where all of the books are retellings of Disney stories, basically. So this one is a retelling of Snow White. Yeah, so this one is about half Fae, Astrid, Snow, and it's an interconnected story or series, so you kind of see some of the characters in the other books, but they are not necessarily connected in any way like that. But this one has a map in the beginning, so this one would work for the prompt. We then have Wisteria by Adeline Grace, which is the 3rd and final book in the Belladonna series. I'm most eager to pick this one up, but I'm not sure if I will pick it or if I will pick one of the other ones. But yeah, Belladonna is basically like a gothic fantasy series that I've definitely thoroughly enjoyed. I did end up giving Belladonna a 5 stars, and I think I gave Foxglove, so the second book, like either a 3 or 4 stars. So I'm very curious to finish off this series. I think there is a novella as well, but I'm not sure. And then we have one that I have put... Oh, wait. I have to check if there's actually a map. Okay, never mind. There's no map in this one. I just assumed since it's a fantasy. But there's no map, so that one is out of the picture. And then we have Fearless by Lauren Roberts, which I have put on my TBR before, but I have not ended up reading it. Yeah, you know what? I'm just gonna pick this one. This one finishes off a series except for the novella that comes after this one that I also purchased recently. And I am curious to see how this one ends, and I've been seeing people read them in like reading vlogs, so that has kind of intrigued me a little bit more. So I'm sorry if it's boring, but I'm putting this one on my TBR yet again. And this one definitely has a map. In this edition it's actually a beautiful pink one, and it's also on the inside. But yeah, I have enjoyed the series so far, so I know that a lot of people haven't loved this, so my hopes are not that high, but I'm still intrigued to get to this one. Okay, so let's go to prompt number 4. We have 2 fantasy books and 1 like historical literary fiction so far, so a thriller on there would be great. Maybe like a romancy type of book now that it's even more into spring. Blue cover. Ooh, I think that works perfect for my book club book actually. Yes, okay, so this makes me super happy. I'm not even going to look any further, but our book club book for this month is We Used to Live Here by Marcus Cleaver. And this is a like thriller horror book, I believe. And as I mentioned, it is our book club book for the month of April. So yeah, I believe this one is about like a couple who bought a house, and then one day a man knocks on the door and he says he lived there years before, and then asks if he can show his family around. As soon as they enter, strange things start to happen, and Eve is desperate for them to leave and never come back, but they can't or won't take the hint that they are no longer welcome. Then Charlie, so one of the ones in the couple, vanishes, and Eve begins to lose her grip on reality. She's convinced there's something terribly wrong with the house and its past inhabitants. Or is it all in her head? So this one sounds very, very intriguing, and obviously it has a blue cover. So that will be the fourth book in my April TBR. My camera battery is flashing and we are definitely losing light, so let's go straight to prompt number 5. Contemporary romance. I think I got this exact prompt last month as well, so I did end up picking Reckless for that one, which I did end up reading. I do feel like, again, I should be responsible and maybe continue a series. I do have one that I should continue. I'm not sure if I'm gonna have the time for that one in the month of April, but I will just grab it and put it on my TBR, and then hopefully we will manage to read that one. And that is Things We Left Behind by Lucy Score. So this is the third and final book in the Knockabout series. These books are all very, very big. So this one is almost 600 pages, which is very long for a romance. They are very, very spicy, which is not my favorite thing in a romance. But I did really, really like the second book in the series, so maybe I will like this one as well. I think it's been like 2 years since I finished the second book, maybe even longer. So it's definitely time that I get around to reading this one. So I will put it on my TBR, and then we will see if we manage to read it in the month of April. And then it's time for our 6th and final prompt for the month of April. It's always very sad when these are over. I'm always so tempted to pick more books, but maybe my camera battery flashing is gonna help me with not doing that this time. A sad book. Okay. I feel like I have a lot of those. That will probably be like a lit fic. So the thing is, I don't think I want another romance on there, and most of my sad books are probably romances, and then a lit fic feels just a little... I don't know, I'm just not that excited to read like another literary fiction this month, so I think I will repick. Sorry, I'm kind of bending the rules a little, but I also need to read what I'm in the mood for, especially after getting out of a reading slump. So let's hope for a better one. Pink cover, that is probably also a romance. I think the problem at this point is that I'm not sure what I'm in the mood for, but I will pick out a few books with pink covers and see which one we end up picking. So I ended up finding quite a few books which I would consider have pretty pink covers, so I will just go through them with you guys, and then we will see which one we pick. I have no idea yet. But first of all, we have Our Infinite Face by Laura Steven. So I would say that this cover is pretty pink. I mean, it does have a lot of black on there as well, but mostly pink. And it also has pink sprayed edges. So this one is a fantasy book about this girl who, she has to find her enemy who hunts her through each life. And then every time she's being killed, she kind of has to do that thing again. I'm not sure, honestly. I am excited to read this one. But I do already have 2 fantasy books on there, so I don't think I will pick it. This one is probably the pinkest book I've ever seen. It's Bunny by Mona Awad. It's a horror, and I'm not picking this one this month because I'm buddy reading this with a friend, and I'm already reading like a thriller horror book this month. I did pick up this one, but I don't think now that it's that pink, but I would say it's still like mainly pink, and that is Ready or Not by Cara Stone. The backside is definitely very pink. So this one is a romance book. I mostly got this one because I want to get to the next book in this like interconnected series. And the cover is giving very much spring, so maybe I will go for this one. We then have First Time Caller by B.K. Borison, which is the first book in like her newer series. I just received the second book in the mail. We have Sounds Like Love by Ashley Poston. This is the Yeah, I think this is the last book I have yet to read by her. Also a very, very pink cover and also a romance, but she always has like magical realism in her books as well, which I always really like. And then we have Wayward by Emilia Hart, which is also a very, very pink cover. This one is a historical fiction about like witches and stuff. Since we already have an historical fiction, I'm probably not going to pick this one, which means that the books I'm in between are Sounds Like Love and Ready or Not. This one is arguably more pink. This one is more spring. But since I already have like a pretty thick typical romance, I think I'm gonna go for Sounds Like Love, because I just think that the like magical realism element to her books adds something else. And I pre-ordered her next book, which is coming out pretty soon, I'm pretty sure. So yeah, I kind of want to be up to date with her books. So I'm putting Sounds Like Love by Ashley Poston on my April TBR as the last book. So with that one being picked out, we have our final April TBR, so let's go through all of the books. We have Sounds Like Love by Ashley Poston for a book with a pink cover, and this one is a magical realism romance. We then have Things We Left Behind by Lucy Score. This is the last book in the Knock 'Em Out series for a contemporary romance. For a book with a blue cover, we have We Used to Live Here by Marcus Cleaver, which is a thriller horror book. For a gifted book, we picked This Savage Song by V.E. Schwab, which is a fantasy of some sort. For a movie adaptation, we picked Lessons in Chemistry by Bonnie Garmus. This one is an historical fiction slash lit fic. And then last but not least, we have a book with a map, and we picked Fearless by Lauren Roberts. Please come at me if I do not end up reading this in April, because this one has been on my TBR enough times at this point, so I'm definitely gonna prioritize reading this one. I hope you enjoyed watching this video. Please do let me know what's on your TBR for the month of April, and if you have any recommendations, if you've read any of these books, I would love to hear everything about it. Don't forget to give this video a like and subscribe to my channel if you want more bookish content, and I hope to see you guys in the next one. Until then, take care.